Good morning and welcome to Frontiers of Knowledge segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening. One marvels, wonders at what the people can do is the human body and the cosmos really a part of a creation. Israelis have proved now that your body parts can be regrown in a lab. Till now, the most vexing question for the doctor was the human body's limited capability to regrow missing parts. For example, a patient has lost a significant amount of bone in his hip and knee. A piece of rib can be taken and grafted in, but such procedures need the infrastructure of soft tissue, blood vessels to enable the bone to heal. So they have to transplant the soft tissue as well. But Israel has shown in experiments and now in real life that specialized tissues made from dental pulp and stem cells could produce in a lab, and they eliminate the need to remove it from the patient's body. The Israel Institute of Technology in Haifa has shown that created lab created soft tissues, of course, the raw material is the human body, with blood vessels from the dental pulp, and that's the material inside the teeth. So they can help form sportive tissues and healing. The new procedure has been trained and the trials have shown extremely successful. But Japan has jumped much ahead. For the first time, they have produced human cells, produced in laboratory, and implanted them into the human patients. What they did was that they created heart cells in the lab. And for the first time in the history of the world since evolution, what God had been doing according to the believers, or what I'll call the result of evolution, the heart cells could never have been grown. That's why when the problem was there, the ultimate treatment was heart transplantation. But now, Nobel Prize winning technology of Kyoto University has enabled Japan to produce lab grown human cells. And just a few days back, as a matter of fact, 7 days back, exactly today, they transplanted the first patient, and it was a lab created cell. The procedure is a part of a cutting edge technology and opens up new avenues in regenerative medicine. 9 more patients are due for these lab created human cells. And this shows the capability of producing iPSCs. iPSCs are induced pluripotent stem cells. And Kyoto University says that they have been carrying on the research since 2006. These cells are created by harvesting cells from the donor's tissue and then returning them to the immature stage by exposing them to a virus. And from there, they can develop the essential any cell for any type of the body, any part of the body can have the stem cells. So regenerative medication has received such a impetus that the patient suffering from heart troubles, from mental issues like Alzheimer, dementia, Parkinson's, diseases from like asthma, lung disease, tuberculosis, where the limbs decay, even osteoporosis, they say, according to them, can be cured. And this is something which is out of the world. The regenerative medicine is much better than the sort of the Medicare that we receive, which is more symptomatic in cure. The modern medication either suppresses symptoms or, at the most, it takes the sheen away, the top layer away, but the basic disease is not remedied. The regenerative medication would enable to renew or make that part of the diseased tissue or cell absolutely new. It's just like repairing a component of a car or replacing it with a new component. So you know the difference. And shall I say hats over turbans off in my case to Kyoto University and Institute of Technology at Haifa. They have done a tremendous job. But not only that, news has come that hybrid plants can make it much easier to grow more food. Now it looks like something of a science movie. Their plants have been created which are produce half potato, half tomato, the same plant. The top portion of the plant above the land would give tomatoes. Below the land, it will give potatoes. So the plant is called tomato. It has happened first time in Germany, and they look slightly different. What they have done is they have regrafted. The procedure is a long, old horticulture practice, grafting. But when you graft, you produce a new plant, in either a new vegetable or a new flower or a new fruit, whatever. But new. But here the same plant produces two producers. Tomatoes are the top because they grow need sunshine, and potatoes are always are grown underground, so the roots will have potatoes. Same plant, the grafting has been such a way that one plant would produce two products, and that would go a long way in meeting the food shortage. These hybrid plants, the new type of hybrid plant, would make crops more efficient, maximize the yield, and they can be produced in the urban environment. So you grow one plant in your home and you have potatoes and tomatoes both. The result would be that the food can be grown in small spaces, like on rooftops, like on balconies. And not only that, where the populations are growing and the urbanization is there, it would be a hemocentric meat. These fruits and vegetables produced by using a process grafting brings together the tissues from two or more plants. As I said, this is a variation or an improvement on the old process of grafting. So combination of two plants makes a root stock, but then there's an attached second which was not there. It combines a sort of a tree which I would call fruit salad tree. Now imagine the further development that one plant gives you two or three or more vegetables in one plant only. So rootstock plants or the new plants, or the hybrid plants, have another benefit that they are disease resistant and drought resistant. They need less water. In case of tomato, it has been seen that the yield is more, but the water utilization is less. And they have also seen that it was impervious to disease. They tried to inject and put diseased plants nearby. The, this plant was the only one which resisted it. Now, with the environmental factors increasing farmers around the world, the ability to grow plants that can resist disease and drought, because we are having water shortage as well, then farmers will be able to produce more than required food. And not only that, and even the arid zones, like the desert, would be able to grow food because the water requirement is much less. And now there's another concept coming up in agriculture. This will help not only in growth of food, but also help the climate. This is called guerrilla gardening. Now, international groups like Zero Hour and Extinction Rebellion, they have been protesting about the climate crisis. So, guerrilla gardening is an act of cultivating plants in public places. What they say is that there are places where nobody goes, deserted, empty, arid. So, what is required is you go and plant trees there. Those plants which do not require care, but they'll provide shade and they will be greening the process. Actually, there is a organization called Guerrilla Gardeners, and the coordinator Jenny was saying that stones and ceramic capture the heat. So when you remove the stones and plant a tree there, the increase in temperature would not be as much as it is when stones are there. So what she says is not only that, but this will also help increase water retention. And the flash floods, which are becoming a normal occurrence today, the frequency and the intensity of these flash floods would decrease appreciably. And adding more greens means you have water management. Now, is it illegal? As a matter of fact, no. It needs just a coordination between the people and the municipal authority. It's definitely a new form of a protest, but it highlights the issue of biophobic urbanization. And you don't need to be illegal. You can actually have the blessing of the local authorities. In Netherlands, they are doing it a lot. What they do is they identify a neglected area of public place that no one else is using. And you would find in your cities, in your localities, number of such places, of corners, shady corners. So if what you do is you go there, remove the stones, and plant a hardy tree which doesn't need care. Basically, it's making tree pits. And if you grow a plant, nobody's going to object. But as I said, you can also get a land. So what you do is pick up a plant which is hardy, resilient, and able to cope with the climate without much assistance. But it would have a great effect on the climate and your locality. It will also help you because it's your plant, improve mental health and the increase in lifespans. And before we end today, a very interesting nuggets of knowledge. It's not a development. It has been there since the world started. We human beings say hi and bye, but then this greeting of hi and bye is shared with chimpanzees. Chimps and bonobos, they signal hello and goodbye to one another while entering into existing social encounters. In a very recent study, it has shown that apes share 99% of the DNA that human beings have. So close relationship is very close. 99% of DNA of apes and human beings is identical. But we had never identified the behavior aspect. And now the behavior aspect has shown that if the language has been saying, tape recording was done, voice modulations were interpreted, and it was seen that chimpanzees and bonobos, when they meet, they say hi, hello, welcome. And when they're leaving each other, they also bid goodbye in the same manner that the human beings do. So, it shows that the animals can act and react exactly like human beings. And that is comforting because that shows not only the veracity of the theory of evolution, but also the identity of human beings with nature. Well, we'll have more nuggets of knowledge next Thursday. Thank you.